Brap, brap, brap. Hello friends, well we've got our Winton truck day coming up soon and I'm trying to get everything done before then. We did the brake ducts, which is awesome, and now I've got a few other little things I want to do because I want to try and get this car logbooked with CAMS, which basically says it's all safe and happy to be a race car, and CAMS are aware of it, or I should say Motor Sport Australia now, whatever the hell they're called. One of the things we need to do is put a window net in. The idea of a window net is, obviously, I know you've got a door and you've got a window, and that's great. If we roll or if something happens and the door flies open, basically the window net is to stop parts of your body coming at the car. So you imagine you're sitting in there, my arm's just here. We need to put a net here, so if I'm rolling, my arm can't come out the door and then go up and get pulled off on ground and roof and all sorts of things I don't really want to think of, to be honest. So yeah, basically with these window nets, what most people do is, oh yeah, by the way, I've got roll cage padding. Thanks to Brent from Luxe for that. Awesome. What a top guy. Even matches the cage. So this is proper fireproof roll cage padding. This isn't, people would think you can just use pool noodles or something. You cannot. You have to use the proper stuff. It's not the cheapest stuff in the world, but it's what you need to use. So it's the proper SFI certified stuff. As I said, it won't catch fire, it's fireproof, all that jazz, and it's the right consistency. And you need to have that anywhere where your head or body can hit. So I'll probably have to put a bit more down here next to my arm and maybe a bit down here next to my leg. But I'm going to have a chat to some guys who are a bit more knowledgeable than I am about that and see what the deal is. Anyway, I get distracted. So what a lot of people do is basically you have a bar. Let me show you. Where is my... I've already got my window net and my top bar, which is here. So this is an RPM window net, pretty basic, pretty standard jobby. And obviously this is our top bar. So this end here is spring loaded. So what you usually do is you have a little tab up here somewhere, a little tab back here somewhere with a hole in it, and all you do is you push that in, load up the spring, and then clip that end into the other end, and that's pretty much it, and that sits in our window, good as anything. However, to do that, you need to weld. Couple of reasons I don't want to weld. Number one, I can't do it. I'm terrible at welding. Number two, the cage is already painted and in the car and looks great, and I don't want to have to redo all that sort of stuff, so screw that. I don't know what the third is. Third is I want to do it now. So what I did is I went online and I found, couldn't find them in Australia, but I found these guys from America. They're alloy heavy duty clamps, really strong, and they're actually designed for this bar. It's the same company. So the hole is the right size and everything. And this end is pivoted, so if you've got funky bars on the front like this or on angle, you can loosen the bolt and you can change the angle, which is really cool. With these, you have to slide the net on. So you buy the net separately, slide the net on, and then you weld on this little handle on the end here. Unfortunately, the little knob on the end is alloy, and when the dude who welded it for me didn't know that was alloy and melted the end off. So it's a really dumb thing. Anyway, there's a big lump of alloy still in there, so I drilled and tapped it, and I've put a cap head bolt in there and lynched it all down so it's the right size, and that's not going anywhere. That's super strong in there. So I've now got another end on there. Cool, so all we really have to do to get this going is we have to cut a little bit of the roll cage padding out, figure out where our clamps are going to go, and then the bottom of this window net is just straps. So we strap them onto the bottom here, try and make sure we don't go over Rob's lovely RG Customs logo, and that's our window net done. It's pretty easy, so let's get to it. Cool, so I cut the roll cage padding down. I've got this guy in there. I had to massage the roof a little bit with a iron bar, but I've got it in there. Such a pain in the ass with the Allen key on top of that. I've got the top bolt in, so I'm just going to make sure it's in the right spot, and then I'll put the bottom bolt in afterwards. make sure it all lines up properly, and then just strap the bottom on. Okay, cool, I've got that guy bolted in, just moved him up a little bit. That one's all bolted in, and now window net, we just pop it in there. Oh, hard to do one hand, hang on. Pop it in there, and then we've got a little handle, and just give it a push. Clips in there, and that is our window net in. Just close the door, make sure everything clears, so this isn't near the window or anything. And that's good. A little bit of a gap up the top, but it's nothing substantial. It's just the shape of the window. There's not much I can do about that. But yeah, that's going to keep me in there. My steering wheel comes to there, so you need it to the center of the steering wheel, which is perfect. Now I just need to put the bottom straps on, and that's good to go. You do have to mark the handle red, thus the red heat shrink on there. And I do have a sticker for the window net here. I'll put around here somewhere that says window net. But yeah, just give it a yank, pull it off, and then I'll probably do something down there, something nicer for it to sit in. I don't know, I just don't want to scratch up the cage too much. Great success. Let's strap the bottom on. And there we go. Terrible window net sticker, but it'll do. I didn't know where else to put it. I mean, it kind of needs to go that way, but it kind of makes sense. So whatever, they'll figure it out. It's got the red handle on it. That's the most important thing. Unfortunately, I am strapped around Rob's logo, but I might have a go strapping it up here later on. But for now, that is pretty much perfect. Shut the door, it's all in there. Roly-poly, my arms are staying in. I might tension it up a bit more too, but that's pretty sweet. Sweet McGee, now window net's done. The next thing I was hoping to do is raise the whole shifter assembly. So I will be running a short shifter in this at some point. I just haven't got one yet. I'll save up and hopefully do it soon. But I want the whole assembly to be raised up 100mm. So we've got the 5 bolts here. I've gone to the bolt shop and I got the exact same bolt, but 100mm longer. So I'm going to raise it up, but I need standoffs. I need something under it to raise it up. So I've got this cool, crazy composite plastic thing my old man's found, and I'm going to chop it down, put it in the lathe, bore a hole through it, and that'll be my standoff. So I'm going to try and get rid of all these rubber bushes too, because the whole thing's really floppy. It's terrible. While I've got it apart, I might try and paint this, but I'll see how I go for time today. So let's get this apart, let's get some standoffs made and get it done. So a little bit of further investigation, when you pop out the crappy bushes, there's a big ass hole there. So we might have to make a little indent in the top of our standoffs to fill that in. Then we can use a big washer and close it up. Because these are floppy and horrible and I hate them, so we're not going to use them. Cool beans. So that's our first standoff. We'll just test that out, and then I'm gonna make at least 3 more, maybe 4. So what I did is, you probably saw on the machine there, I just left a little riser on top. So this is about 1mm thick metal, and that's a 1mm thick sleeve. I think I actually overdid it a little bit, but I'll just have a look. So when we put that under there, Oh yeah, not bad. Oh Jesus. There we go, you can see that little indent sits in there, and we can put a washer on top, bolt it all down. That means it won't slide around and move. That's perfect. We've got the hole all the way through for our new bolts, and here's a new bolt. Obviously, it's 100mm longer than the old one. Just got to put a washer on there all the way through, bolt it down. We've got these little Duvalakis here. I'll grind them off or pull them out or whatever. Yeah, so let's go and make another 3 or 4 of these, and we're done. And there we go. That is our shifter on risers. I've been wanting to do that for a while. It just gives me much better reach. If you notice in a lot of race cars, a lot of rally cars, the shifter's quite high and quite easy to access. And I think once you're on the track for a bit, you kind of realize that's where you want it to be. This will be a short shifter, so it'll be a little lower and the throw will be shorter, because at the moment it's freaking huge. And I'm working on that. I'm gonna still sussing out where I want to buy it from and all that sort of stuff. So if any of the companies that build short shifters wants me to pop one in and review it and show the world, that'd be great. I was going to paint, you can see how crappy this is. I was going to paint all this, I just don't have time today. I've got too much on, but that'll be on the list to pull everything out and just spray that all a nice colour and make it look good. But yeah, it's nice. It's all solid mounted that now. You saw how floppy it was with these crappy bushes. So it's really nice that that's all nice and firm and solid mounted and not crap now. Okay, so that's about all I want to do to the car today, but that's not the end of the video, because the next thing we need to do is get some tyres for this puppy. We're still running the old crappy Hankook. Look, they weren't that bad, but they're squealy and they're old. I want to put the control tyres on this and get this close to race ready. So we're going to go see our mate Ryan from Hoppers Crossing Jim's Tyres. He's Mobile Tyres. Ryan's come aboard and he's helping us out with tyres and balancing and fitment for the car, which is awesome. And he's a legend of a dude. He came over from Bathurst and we hung out. So we'll go and we'll get him over and we can show you his mobile setup. It was really cool actually. He's got this wicked van with all the tyre gear in there. So we'll go and do that in the next couple of days and put it in the vid, and you can see all that jazz. But for now, we're done. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Ryan from Jim's Mobile Tyres. I've been doing tyres now for about 10 years, and yeah, really enjoy doing it. Love getting hands on and all that. And, one thing I didn't like was working for the man, so now I'm out with my own franchise in the mostly western suburbs, and just love getting hands on with all the motorsport and tyres and in with wheels. It's quite enjoyable changing experience from day to day, as opposed to being stuck in the same workshop every day. The downsides obviously is a bit rainy today, but you get that on the big jobs. Working with the Federals in the 595 RSR, it's quite a hard tyre, so one of the main benefits there is it's going to last, which is exactly what you want out of a budget category like this. It's still going to give you a heap of grip over your standard passenger tyre, but you know, there are a lot of other tyres out there. But for your bang for buck, this is a pretty good tyre. One thing that I've just mentioned is that you should probably take a little bit more care getting heat into the tyres before you push too hard, and otherwise you'll end up in the gravel. So if you ever need tyres for your car, motorsport or on the street, let me know and we'll sort something out for you.